From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. Radio Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. I'm your host, Leo Magpayo, and this is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has reaffirmed that education remains a top priority of his administration, as nearly 2,000 public school teachers and school leaders in Central Luzon moved up the ranks under the expanded career progression system. A total of 1,991 educators from Bulacan and Pampanga provinces took their oaths in a mass ceremony led by Education Secretary Sonny Angara. In his speech, the President said the promotions underscore government's continued investment in the sector, both through funding and long-term structural reforms. The oath-taking is part of the nationwide rollout of Republic Act or RA 12288, the Career Progression for Public School Teachers and School Leaders Act, which President Marcos signed in 2025. The law establishes a competency-based system that allows educators to advance either through teaching or school leadership tracks with corresponding salaries and benefits. To date, more than 16,000 teachers have been promoted under the program, while around 40,000 applications are still being evaluated. President Marcos also highlighted the government's 1.34 trillion peso education budget this year, equivalent to over 4% of the country's gross domestic product or GDP, along with complementary initiatives such as the Yaman ng Kalusugan or YAKAP program for teacher healthcare and continued teaching and medical allowances. The Central Luzon ceremony follows earlier promotions in the Ilocos region and the National Capital Region, as the administration accelerates the nationwide implementation of the career progression system.
You are the ones who teach them the lessons for work and for life, how to care for others, how to be responsible, how to stand with integrity. These are the foundations of a strong society, and they are built day to day in your classrooms. In this age, many of our challenges require discipline, honesty, empathy, values first learned at home and strengthened in your classrooms through your example. Kaya tanyaan ninyo ako na taus-puso mong pasalamat. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat, sa inyong dedikasyon at sa inyong malasakit. That is why our responsibility as a government is to stand beside you, making your profession more sustainable, more dignified, and more rewarding. Kagaya ng aking nasabi sa dati, prioridad natin ang edukasyon hanggang matapos ang administrasyong nito. At bilang patunay, naglaan tayo ng mahigit 1.34 trillion pesos para sa sektor ng edukasyon ngayong taon. Katumbas ito ng higit 4% ng ating buong ekonomiya ay nandyan para sa edukasyon, para suportahan ng guro, para tulungan at alalayan at alagaan ang ating mga kabataan. Alam din natin na sa sobrang dami ng inyong trabaho, minsan nakakalimutan na ninyo kumain o kaya naman lagi kayong puyat. Kadalasan, nawawalan na kayo ng panahon para tingnan ng lagay ng inyong kalusugan. Kaya inilunsad natin ang Yaman ng Kalusugan Program o yung YAKAP Caravan. At sa programang ito, ang serbisyong medikal ay ang lalapit na sa inyo. May libreng, kasama po dyan ang libreng laboratory test, na mga urinalysis, blood work, konsultasyon, gamot, at pagsusuri ng inyong vital signs.
Was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited an elementary school in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan Province on Thursday to inspect the rollout of the government's Yaman ng Kalusugan or YAKAP program, which aims to strengthen health services for students and teachers. The President, joined by Department of Education or DepEd Secretary Sani Angara, checked on the implementation of the initiative at Minuyan Elementary School, where he also spent time engaging with teachers and learners. President Marcos reaffirmed the administration's commitment to supporting educators and students, emphasizing that government assistance goes beyond career development. The YAKAP Caravan is currently serving Minuyan Elementary School's teaching staff and its more than 3,000 enrolled students. DepEd data show Minuyan Elementary is one of 59 public schools in San Jose del Monte, alongside 105 private schools. The city hosts over 10,000 kindergarten pupils, 66,000 elementary learners, 38,000 junior high school students, and more than 7,000 senior high school students. It is supported by a workforce of 4,239 teachers, 157 teaching-related personnel, and 348 non-teaching staff. The YAKAP Caravan has previously made stops in Aurora, Quezon City, Kalumpit, Hagonoy, Bohol, La Union, Makati, and Pasig from mid-2025 to early 2026. DepEd has partnered with private diagnostics provider One Life to deliver on-site medical services during the caravans, part of what the agency describes as a whole-of-nation effort to safeguard the well-being of learners and educators.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Thursday assured the public that Vice President Sara Duterte's announcement of a 2028 presidential bid will not distract President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. from his governance agenda. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the president remains focused on key priorities such as strengthening the economy, improving the lives of Filipinos, and addressing long-standing flooding problems. She also stressed that the administration does not feel threatened by Duterte's declaration, noting that her early movements, had already been evident.
Wala, hindi maapektuhan. Maaapektuhan ba ng isang vice-presidente na nag-announce lamang siya na siya'y tatakbo ang pagtatrabaho ng Pangulo? Kung ang iisipin lamang ng Pangulo natin ay mga sinasabi ng vice-presidente, hindi natatakbo ang gobyernong ito. So, hindi po maapektuhan ang focus ng Pangulo para maiangat ang ekonomiya ng bansa, maiangat ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino, at masolusyonan ang isyu sa baha na hindi na solusyonan noon pa. Noon pa natin sinasabi, lahat ng sinasabi ng vice-presidente, halos doon, fake news. Ano pa ba ang dapat sagutin pa ng Pangulo kung kayo mismo taga-media alam nyo na ang lahat halos ng sinasabi ng vice-presidente ay fake news?
That was Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Thursday, Malacañang denied circulating claims that Bureau of Customs or BOC Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno is set to be replaced, following confusion over a document listing his appointment date as February 2, 2026, despite his official oath-taking on June 30th, 2025. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the rumors are baseless, stressing that Commissioner Nepomuceno remains in his post. She added that the questionable document will be turned over to the National Bureau of Investigation for verification.
Ang kumakalat na sinasabing papalitan si Commissioner Arnel Nepomuceno ay wala pong katotohanan. Ang lumalabas po ng dokumentong yan ay ibibigay po natin mismo sa NBI dahil marami na po talaga ang namimihasa, umaabuso sa kanilang mga sinasabing freedom of expression. So yan po ay ipapaalam at ihatid natin sa NBI para makita at maimbestigahan kung saan nanggagaling ang mga peking impormasyon na yan.
On Environment Secretary Rafael Lutilla, whose appointment has been bypassed 3 times by the Commission on Appointments, Castro said there are no new updates. She also dismissed speculation of a broader reshuffle involving presidential appointees.
Dateline Malacañang.
Still on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is set to visit Naga City on Saturday as part of the government's nationwide cleanup drive, where he is expected to meet with former Vice President and current Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo. In a press briefing at Malacañang, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the visit forms part of the administration's Oplan Kontra Baha initiative, which focuses on clearing waterways, including canals, esteros, and rivers, to help reduce flooding.
Yung Oplan Kontra Baha ay pinasimulan na po sa Naga City ng ating Pangulo. Busy po ngayon ang kawani ng DPWH para linisin ang mga kanal, ang estero at ang ilog sa Naga City. Yan po ang bibisitahin ng ating Pangulo at totoo po na bibisita po siya at makakasama niya po ang Mayor Leni Robredo ng Naga City sa February 21. Sabado. Yun lang po ang ating yun lang po ang binigay na impormasyon dahil nga po ang pinasisimulan nga po ng Pangulo itong Oplan Kontra Baha at isa sa mga lugar na kanyang pinatutukan ay ang Naga City. So, yun lamang po. Kung ano pang pag-uusapan nila, abangan na lang po natin.
Asked about possible political discussions or alliances, Castro said none are on the agenda. Castro also brushed aside speculation that the timing of the visit signals any political messaging, coming just days after Vice President Sara Duterte announced her 2028 presidential bid.
Wala po kasi talaga na pag-uusapan tungkol sa pangangampanya o kung sino man ang magiging kandidato sa 2028. Hindi pa po kasi panahon ngayon, napakaaga po pa kasi para tayo mag-announce na kayo tatakbo o hindi. Napakaaga para mamulitika. Ang dami pong dapat na ayusin sa bansa natin. Maraming dapat na ayusin na interes ng ating mga kababayan. So, masyadong maaga ang pag-usapan kung sinong tatakbo sa 2028.
Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Thursday announced that lawyer Melvin Matibag has been appointed as the new director of the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the appointment is the prerogative of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., noting that the chief executive has full trust in Matibag's capability to serve. Matibag previously held posts under the Duterte administration and is known to be an ally of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The palace did not say whether his political ties played a role in the decision. He replaces Lito Magno, who had been serving as acting NBI chief following the resignation of former director Jaime Santiago last year.
Hindi po pa naibigay sa akin ang rason. So kapag ibinigay na po sa atin, una-una prerogative naman po. Una-una man po prerogative po ng Pangulo. Una-una, masasabi natin bakit niya in-appoint or i-appoint. Nandun po yung tiwala. Nakitaan po niya ang si Attorney Melvin Matibag ng maaaring pagtiwalaan, maaaring magtrabaho para sa gobyerno. Pero kung ano yung pinaka-reason, hindi pa po nasasabi sa akin In details, kapag ka po naibigay na sa akin, ipapasa ko po agad sa inyo.
That was Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has intensified its crackdown on unlicensed and colorum vehicles following Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive to ensure safer roads for commuters and motorists. Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said, the President continues to push for safer streets nationwide, with the LTO ramping up enforcement operations, terminal inspections, and checkpoint monitoring. From February 9th to the 11th alone, the LTO apprehended 353 colorum vehicles. Of these, 107 were impounded, while 246 underwent technical impoundment, where license plates were confiscated. Castro added that the agency has also deployed K9 units to strengthen inspections at transport terminals and checkpoints. A mobile command center has likewise been rolled out, equipped with real-time traffic monitoring screens, license plate recognition, and vehicle verification systems to identify unregistered, stolen, or illegally modified vehicles.
Ligtas na mga lansangan, patuloy na isinusulong ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Puspusan ng operasyon ng Land Transportation Office upang masiguro ang panatag na paglalakbay ng mga motorista sa bansa. Alinsunod ito sa direktiba ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. Ayon kay LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Marcos Lacanilao, patuloy ang paghahabol ng ahensya sa mga hindi lisensyadong sasakyan bilang bahagi ng kanilang anti-colorum operations. Simula noong February 9 hanggang 11 ngayong taon, umabot na sa 353 na colorum na sasakyan ang nahuli ng LTO. Sa nasabing bilang, 107 dito ay na-impound, habang 246 ay isinailalim sa technical impoundment kung saan ang mga plaka lang ng sasakyan ang kinukumpiska ng LTO. Maliban dito, formal ding inilunsad ng LTO ang K9 unit bilang bahagi ng kanilang mas pinatibay na pagpapatupad ng batas trapiko, inspeksyon sa mga terminal, checkpoint at iba pang operasyon ng ahensya. Nauna na ring naglunsad ang LTO ng Mobile Command Center o MCC bilang tugon sa kanilang pangangasiwa sa mga operasyon at upang masiguro ang tuloy-tuloy na pagbabantay sa mga lansangan. Ang mga programang ito ng LTO ay ilan lamang sa mga hakbang ng pamahalaan sa ilalim ng liderato ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na naglalayong unahin ang seguridad ng mga motorista sa bansa. Naniniwala si Pangulong Marcos Jr. na ang kaligtasan ng mga lansangan ay bahagi ng pag-unlad ng bayan na patuloy namang isinusulong sa ilalim ng bagong Pilipinas.
That was Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, is boosting healthcare support for overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, and their families through a 3-day surgical, medical, and optical mission at the OFW Hospital in Pampanga Province from February 18th to the 20th. In a statement, the DMW said First Lady Marie Louise Araneta Marcos joined Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA Administrator Patricia Yvonne Kaunan, and Health Secretary Chodoro Herbosa during the launch on Wednesday. The mission, conducted with the Makati Medical Center Foundation, offers free medical services to OFWs, their dependents, and beneficiaries from underserved communities. These include minor and selected elective major surgeries such as thyroidectomy, cholecystectomy, excision, varicocelectomy, and specific OB procedures, along with general consultations, basic laboratory tests, essential medicines, and optical services like vision screening, refraction, and distribution of prescription eyeglasses. The DMW emphasized the importance of interagency coordination in strengthening social protection for migrant workers. It added that the OFW hospital follows strict patient screening, diagnostic clearance, and operating room protocols to ensure safety and efficiency. Secretary Kakdak said the initiative supports the hospital's ongoing institutional strengthening. In 2025, the facility served more than 124,000 patients and secured a DOH Level 2 license to operate and MFOWS accreditation, among other quality recognitions. Construction also continues on the OFW Hospital Bagong Pilipinas Cancer Care Center, which broke ground in October 2025. The project advances President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive to expand OFW's access to specialized, high-quality medical services and strengthen inclusive public healthcare delivery.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Korean Embassy has eased its visa requirements for Filipino travelers, waiving the submission of 3 months' worth of bank statements for all visa types. The Korean Visa Application Center, or KVAC, in the Philippines said the policy, effective February 20th, 2026, is meant to simplify the application process and encourage more visits to South Korea. Student applicants may now submit either an original school certificate or a copy of their student ID. The requirement for an explanation letter is also waived for employment documents without a landline number or those bearing electronic signatures, as long as other contact details such as email or mobile number are provided. KVAC added that common documents like invitation letters, family relationship papers, and company records for group applicants only need to be submitted once and attached to the representative applicant's file. Opened in 2023 to meet rising visa demand, KVAC is located at the Brittany Hotel in Taguig City and processes all visa categories, with applications reviewed and released by the Korean Embassy in Manila.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service can be heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. Radyo Pilipinas World Service is also live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.